When will you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs? Now, I don't have any problem with wigs. But I kind of do have a problem with wigs. Now, let me start this episode off by saying that I believe people should wear wigs if they want to wear wigs. I know especially for people who are sick, leukemia, cancer, they're very, very horrible things to endure. And sometimes having a head of hair just makes it feel better, makes you feel normal. And that's a good thing. The problem is when you have, the people who are just desperately clinging on to this hair for not like a good reason. They're just doing it because they base their public image, they base their self-worth off of their appearance, which is fine. People should take care of themselves. People should, dress nicely and, good hygiene and everything. But, most of the time, wigs look pretty bad, like really bad. And it's like one of those things, it's like bad breath. Everybody notices it, but no one will ever say anything to you. And when someone does say something to you, it absolutely crushes you. And it makes you like reconsider your entire life. Like you like look back on every single interaction you've ever had and wonder if everyone else has thought the same. So that's wigs. That's wigs. Personally, I believe that you should take care of yourself and you shouldn't just give up on some stuff. If you notice your hair is, falling out, which it does for a lot of people, try to fix it. Maybe take supplements. Maybe, I think like washing your hair with cold water or like not hot water, doing like scalp massages. And yeah, take like supplements and vitamins and stuff and stop there. Stop there. I wouldn't wear a wig. I wouldn't get hair plugs, hair transplants. That is a little bit too much, too far. I think the worst thing is that when like someone has like good hair, but their forehead's kind of fucked. And so they proceed to like ruin the rest of their hair by like fixating on their forehead, fixating on their hairline. So like someone with a good head of hair and, a couple extra inches on the old forehead, they will proceed to go to Turkey and, rip out follicles on the top of their head and implant them on the front of their face. Yeah. I don't know. I never saw the need for it. I mean, balding is so common. There are so many bald people out there. It's not like in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, which I was alive for, when balding was kind of like this thing that no one really committed to. You had the patches of hair, like the math teacher look, the George Costanza look. Now, if you're balding, grow out a beard, shave completely, and, there you go. That's your look. That's your look. And the reason I say recommend growing out a beard is because if you are a young guy, if you were in your 20s or, even your early 30s and you shave your head bald, like clean down to the skin, not buzz, shave. And then you don't have any facial hair, clean shaven, you kind of, not all the time, depends on how you dress, but you kind of look like a psychopath. you kind of look like someone who like, you know, like, oh, hey, Tom, how's it going? And Tom is the last person to see you alive, you know? So I'm not saying all bald people. I'm just saying, you know, hair really softens up a face. It really softens up a person. It's not necessary, but you know, I would say that most of the time bald people are, you know, more intimidating than people with hair. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have like the super long hair guys where it's very clear that like they do not take care of themselves. I'm not talking about like luscious, like lustrous hair. I'm talking like, you know, you lost your job 10 years ago and you haven't had a haircut since. You know, the wife divorced you, the house got foreclosed, you've been sleeping on the streets for the last 10 years and you haven't had a haircut since. That is also scary. You know, and there's this kind of whole debate with what is scarier. Is it bald, completely bald, or like super long, unkempt hair? And I think it really comes down to the clothing. I think that's what you should judge your, not your worth on, but you can't just judge your worth on the top of your head. That's stupid. What are you wearing? What does your face look like? Do you have a beard? Are you clean shaven? Do you smell nice? Are your teeth crooked? You know, do you have bags under your eyes? Do you have like lines on your face? You got to do the whole image. That's what makes your character. If you think you can just treat your body like shit, be like overweight, out of shape, terrible clothing, you know, just bad breath, rotten teeth, but you have nice hair, that's not gonna cut it. Sorry, gentlemen. I guess ladies too. Ladies can go bald, which is a whole nother episode. That is a whole nother topic of conversation. And I'm once again, I am not talking about sick people. I am just talking about male and sometimes female baldness. You know, that's all. If you are sick, this video does not apply to you. Please, 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 please do not cancel me. Please. Okay. So I think that's it. Let me know down in the comments if you're bald. And maybe if I ever do a face reveal, you can see if I'm bald. I appreciate you listening to this, and I will see you tomorrow.